everybody. Really glad to be with you this week. Gorgeous weather. I hope you're getting a chance to enjoy some of it and get outside. I'm going to talk today a little bit about queer politics and some things that are going on right now, both in the city and as well at the province level, that I'd like to bring your attention to. First thing is, right now at Queen's Park, MPPs are debating two anti-bullying bills. One is called Bill 13, and one is Bill 14. Bills always have numbers to them. Bill 13 has been proposed by the NDP, I believe, or it may be by the Liberals. I'm not sure, but it's a bill that seeks to bring in a whole bunch of remedies into our high schools and elementary schools around bullying. One of the things that Bill 13 proposes is that in high school, where students request a GSA, that there be a law that the high school must establish that GSA if students want it. And so because the bill is mandating that all schools create welcoming environments for gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, two-spirited, and intersex students. So Bill 13 is being debated, as well as Bill 14, which is a conservative-sponsored anti-bullying bill. What's happening around Bill 13 is that we're starting to hear the same old homophobic voices come out against any inclusion of the word gay in legislation and in our high schools and in our elementary schools for that matter. So we've got Charles McVety, a prominent fundamentalist Christian leader. We've got a prominent, very conservative rabbi, another fellow from the Institute, the so-called Institute for Canadian Values, and many, many others are coming out against Bill 13, particularly that part of the bill that addresses the needs of LGBTQ and two-spirited students. So we're hearing homophobia, we're hearing the word gay equated with sex, we're hearing the conservatives, MPPs, distorting the truth about what's in the bill, suggesting, we've got Charles McVety suggesting that the bill would make it mandatory for teachers to teach students about anal sex, oral sex, and all sorts of things like this. This, of course, is the disgusting homophobia and heterosexism of these people coming to the fore. The bill suggests nothing of the sort. The bill suggests that when students request GSAs and other measures be taken to protect them in school, to protect them from the awful bullying that has led to, as we know, high-profile suicides of some students, such as Jamie Hubley most recently. So the bill is being proposed to protect LGBTQ and two-spirited students. The homophobia is coming out against it, but the other thing that is happening is that the conservative MPPs are blocking passage of the bill by using various means at their disposal at the legislature, and I won't go into all of them, but basically they keep closing down debate on the bill, and they're really threatening the ability of the MPPs and the committee that is charged with hearing from people. They're really making it difficult to ensure that the bill gets passed by June 7th, which is when the legislature closes for the summer. And so there's a real danger around that. It's really important that we step up around this, and sometimes we get a little disengaged from what's being debated at the committees in Queen's Park, but it's very important for us to let our MPPs know that we support Bill 13, that we believe that all high schools should implement GSAs and other measures to protect LGBTQ and two-spirited students. For that matter, we need to see really effective measures taken against all forms of harassment and bullying, including racist and sexist harassment, heterosexist harassment and homophobia, ableism, looksism, and many other things that high school students have to deal with. Classism is another kind of oppression that our high school students have to deal with, paying extra fees and things like that for school supplies that really should be provided by the Board of Education. In any case, there's a rally this Saturday, May 11th, or May 12th. This Saturday, May 12th at 1 p.m. People are going to be gathering at Queen's Park, and this is an Ontario GSA Coalition rally. So if you support the right of students to create GSAs and other kinds of measures in their high schools to protect them. I'd like to see out at Queen's Park. It's going to be a beautiful day. Bring a picnic. Lots and lots of green space at Queen's Park on the south lawn in front of the legislature, and let's get out there and show our LGBTQ, two-spirited and intersex high school students that we support them and that we believe that they have a right to protection from homophobia and heterosexist bullying at school. So we'll see you there. I also wanted to talk a little bit about something I read in the paper this morning, the latest news on whether Mayor Rob Ford is going to appear at Pride events this year. I don't know about you, but I'm getting a little sick of hearing his excuses for why he will not attend. The latest is a flag raising that's happening on May 17th, which is the International Day to End Homophobia. So the PFLAG, the Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays, have invited the mayor to raise a flag at City Hall to mark that day. Of course, the mayor's duties include marking all sorts of days that happen throughout the year that have been declared by City Hall. The International Day Against Homophobia was declared many years ago to be an event that City Hall would mark. And PFLAG has invited the mayor to raise that flag, and the mayor has indicated that he will not make time in his schedule to do that. This is, again, another slap in the face to the LGBTQ, two-spirited and intersex community. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of getting slapped in the face by the mayor. And I'd like to encourage everybody to stop inviting him to Pride, to flag raisings, to anything to do with our community. I, for one, do not want to create opportunities for this homophobic mayor to legitimize himself by showing up at these events, being dragged, kicking and screaming. That is something that I find insulting. I also don't care to see Giorgio Mammoliti running around the parade again this year with his cameras, harassing and stalking people, political queers. I don't care to see any other of their homophobic colleagues out at the parade. I don't understand why we keep inviting the mayor. I would say that one invitation is enough. He knows when Pride is. He's got 1 million people coming to the city to celebrate it. Invite him once. If he decides not to come, let that be it. I think that we are doing a disservice. We are continually reaching out to him, and at some point we have to say enough. And when it comes to Pride, in fact, having the mayor there really does nothing to mitigate the fact that his policies up until this point have not only been a disaster for the queer and trans communities, but they've been a disaster for public sector workers. They've been a disaster for poor people across this city. They've been a disaster for many, many others who are seeking public services. And we've talked a lot about this over the last year. So again, inviting him to Pride, inviting him to flag raising, is inviting him to, in some way, be a part of the city celebrations. Not only legitimizes him as, and really detracts from the homophobia that has been evident in this mayor forever, but it also legitimizes his policies. And I, for one, do not want to legitimize Mayor Ford's policies. I do not want to see him at Pride events. I do not believe that we should be dragging him kicking and screaming. I know there's lots of others that disagree, but I, for one, have had enough. And so I'm calling on people to stop inviting him to these events, and in fact to start calling him to account. We cannot ignore the damage and the travesty that this mayor has been up until this point in time, and no amount of attendance at feel-good events is going to take that away. So let's just be clear about that. And the other thing about Pride, of course, is that every year it's really important for us to keep the politics in Pride in even broader ways than just the mayor's appearance or not. So I wanted to let you know about a town hall that's coming up for political queers in Toronto. Perhaps we can talk about Mayor Ford and Giorgio Mammoliti and others at that event, but also let's broaden the discussion. This year's theme for Toronto's Pride is Celebrate and Demonstrate. And of course, it's over the last few years, lots and lots of political groups, including queer Queers Against Israeli Apartheid, Blockorama, many other groups have struggled to be able to maintain their visibility and pride, and there's been lots of community feedback. Las Perlas has been a big part of documenting that, including 2 years ago with the big struggles over the inclusion of Queers Against Israeli Apartheid. Quaya, along with many other groups, the Pride Coalition for Free Speech, Blockorama, and others, are inviting people to come together on May 27th, that's a Sunday, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Come together at the 519 Church Street Community Center Auditorium to talk about politics and pride, and how we can make sure that political messaging stays at the forefront of Pride this year. It's always tempting, especially as we gear up towards World Pride, it always is difficult to resist the demands and the claims of corporate sponsors, the demands and claims of apolitical queer groups, and the demands and claims of groups that would like to see other groups like Queers Against Israeli Apartheid banned from the parade. And we must continue to struggle against that. That is something that we can all work together for, to keep the politics in Pride, to keep reminding people how we got to these mammoth parades right across the world. This was done by acts of resistance, through acts of resistance. We were not welcomed into the streets of Toronto when Pride began many years ago. And we are continuing to see that some groups and some political queers, and also queers that might not identify themselves as political, but are radical queers in terms of, for example, Totally Naked Toronto, queers who are into fetish and S&M, bondage and discipline. Lots of queers are finding that they are getting squeezed out of Pride. So it's important that we come together. We talk about how we can keep those politics in Pride. So lots of advance notice for you. Sunday, May 27th, 2 p.m., the 519 Church Street Community Center Auditorium. There's a Facebook event under Town Hall for Political Queers in Toronto, and I hope to see you there. And before that, let's all be out on Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock at Queen's Park, where we can support our queer and trans youth, where we can let the province and the Liberals know that we want Bill 13 passed, that we want to see GSAs in all schools, including Catholic schools in this province. There is, again, that's a whole other issue that we need to be talking about, that LGBTQ, two-spirited and intersex students in Catholic schools deserve the same protection as they do in our other public schools. So let's see you out there on Saturday and on the 27th as well, and we'll keep bringing the politics back to Pride. Thanks.